Well, hey everybody, John Rethlin here, and this is hashtag Ask for Honesty, episode 11. Yes, I apologize for the lateness of this one, but unfortunately, due to the fact Super Showdown was yesterday, and thank you guys for the great amount of views and feedback on that one. Nearly 400 views as of the recording of this video, so I really do appreciate that. It was a very exhausting rant, so that's kind of why I decided not to do a hashtag Ask for Honesty. Plus, I figured I'd just give it, a day to breathe, and I would just give you a double dose. That's actually what I'm going to do, because I got a bunch of great questions on the last video, in the comments on the last video, and also just from, numerous tweets and DMs that I got for questions today. So thank you guys very, very much for that. If I missed any of your questions, if any of you guys watched this and I missed any that you sent me yesterday or today, please make sure to check out this video, but also check out the next video. If I missed them in both those videos, make sure to send me a screenshot on Twitter, DM the questions to me, and I will make sure to answer them and offer an apology. So that being said, if you want to send a question, leave a comment below this very video. If you send a comment below the video, this one or any hashtag Ask for Honesty videos, you don't actually need to include the hashtag. Though it's appreciated, you do not have to. If you forget it, I will still answer it. Make sure to do that. I will answer it in the next episode. So since I'm recording episode 12 right after this, it'll be answered in episode 13, which will be possibly Wednesday night or Thursday. Or find me on Twitter. Send a maximum of 3 to 4 questions. That way I have enough time to answer every single question that people send me without having to rush through them, hence why I'm doing 2 back-to-back episodes here. And or check out the pinned tweets I usually put up Tuesday morning and Thursday morning. The Tuesday morning one will be for the Wednesday night show, and then the Thursday morning one will be for the Friday night show that I record and upload Saturday. So just want to get that out of the way, and thank you for paying attention to the long intro, but let's get on with it. We got some pretty good questions here. 3 from BSG103079, Brandon, great guy. He asked me a question that I'm going to turn into a full-scale rant at some point, because it's something I touched on in other reviews and even some real honest rants about like the current WWE product. But he asks, is WWE's main roster product in 2019 as bad as WCW's in 1999-2000? I mean, I'm just going to throw 2001 in there. Even though they were starting to turn around things a little bit, 2001 was a little messy because the company was dead. Yes, it is as bad as that. It's actually worse. And here's how it's worse. Because WWE is set up financially to succeed, and they are going to succeed. Even if somehow this Fox deal falls apart after a year or two, they could get on another network. You go back to USA, they could do some stuff. USA may be willing to work with them. They could go to a network exclusive. They have enough sponsors on there to, to possibly make some money, even though Fox is going to pay them $1 billion plus over 5 years. I mean, not $1 billion a year, but it's going to be like 200 something million a year. So it's going to add up to quite a bit of money. Even if that gets nullified a little bit, even if the ratings aren't as big as they are, or as Fox wants, and it has to be negotiated, they're set up on finances for that. They're set up on finances for the Saudi Arabia show, which is another thing. If I don't touch on this one, I may touch on in the next one, since I got a couple questions about that. But so financially, WWE is doing fine. They're doing better than Turner ever did. And I mean, it's a different landscape, different manscape in wrestling. And actually, that's another thing I did, real honest rant, the current wrestling landscape. But to answer your question fully, since I don't really want to go way too in depth, yes, it is as bad. And it's no lack of the talent. It's the same thing in WCW. You had an explosively good tag division, a really good cruiserweight division. The world title scene was a bit of a mess. I mean, even though DDP was a great champion, they pop-tailed the title around too much. Not as much as they did in 2000. But in 99, WCW still would deliver some consistently good pay-per-views, at least on the undercard. The main events, that's another goddamn story. And I love Randy Savage. He should not have been world champion in 1999. Neither should Kevin Nash, but I digress. The whole point of it is they had plenty of talents and they were putting on some good matches, just the ratings kept falling because fan interest was dwindling because they were doing some of the same bullshit and they had pissed off a lot of the fans, which kind of goes back to the whole thing now. The tag team division, when they're featured, Revival, Usos, Heavy Machinery, AOP, and I'm going back a number of months and stuff like that. The Bar, even though it seems like Sheamus may have to possibly retire because they put Cesaro out on his own, it seems like the tag division could deliver some great matches. Even the NXT weekly product is suffering. Now, takeovers are still doing pretty well. Phoenix was a bit of a crack in the armor, and I don't think it's as must-see as it used to be. And that's what happens when you try to hoover up every single indie star and then realize, oh shit, or or even maybe not even indie star, but stars from Ring of Honor, New Japan, stuff like that. Yeah, we hoovered up everybody. Shit, what do? Let's create more programming. We're already exhausting our fans as it is. And that's another aspect of it. They have too many programs. NXT UK, I haven't been able to keep up on that because A, I review New Japan. B, I am not going to dedicate my entire channel and week to WWE, even though I do quite a bit of WWE content. I have New Japan stuff that I'm going to talk about, even though I will be reviewing Dominion. And in fact, by the time this goes up, that Dominion review may already be up. I will be reviewing that. I'm going to maybe take a few weeks off from New Japan because I only have a few other live shows. And then the G1 is going to be really, really busy in, July and August. I love WWE because it is my home. It's in my heart, but it doesn't have my whole heart like New Japan does. WCW back even into 99 still had quite a bit of my heart, but WWE was the upstart, or it was coming back and everything and having these great moments and these great matches and everything. And then, things fell off and WWE has essentially become WCW in the sense that they have no competition. WCW got lazy, and that's why WWE rose up. Now you have the whole thing with AEW, which, look, AEW is still a few, months, almost a few weeks. I mean, I guess it's a few weeks depending on what you go with, about, 16 weeks, but still, maybe 16 weeks a day. The whole point is AEW is rising up, but they're still a number of months away from getting a TV deal, and we don't know how well that's going to go. With WWE, they have every possible resource, even with NXT losing $20-something million a year. Even though they're making quite a bit on live events, they're making quite a bit on the takeovers, and they're making quite a bit on merch, they're still losing money because they can afford that. And it's the same with NXT, or NXT UK. NXT UK is a money pit, even though the UK scene is pretty damn hot. Smaller promotions are doing better than the NXT UK tapings because they, have A, probably cheaper prices, but B, they aren't, they aren't trying to, run off the competition. Sure, they're trying to just make their own brand and everything, but the whole point is, without getting, again, too much into this, and I'll wrap this up really, really quick to get to the other questions, with WWE, yes, creatively the product is just as bad, if not worse, than WCW. Now, we haven't gotten into any, like, David Flair, Buff Bagwell, First Blood DNA match. No, really, that was something that happened in 2000. We don't have the promoters being the champion yet, though Triple H was the NXT promoter, or the head NXT promoter, even though Regal deserves a lot of credit. He was champion in 2016. Nobody has been WWE champion yet. I say that because I fear that Shane is going to be the one to take the title off of Kofi, and then they're going to give it to Reigns, which that will make Shane McMahon WWE champion, and I will frickin' scream. And I answered a question in a previous video, I believe episode 10, about Shane, which shout out to Valena. The reason that it's as frustrating as it is, and it is as bad as WCW, is you see so much potential and you see so many older guys being utilized past their prime. Take, Crown Jewel, or not Crown Jewel, even though it could have been Crown Jewel 2, Electric Boogaloo, Super Showdown 2, Electric Boogaloo. You had Goldberg and Taker that should have not been in the ring. They shouldn't have. The first 2 minutes, okay. Well, the first couple spears, if it had been a couple spears, Taker rises up, does, hits the old school, does a choke slam, does a tombstone, that's it. Cool. There you go. That's what should have happened. They have too many old guys. They have too many people to rely on. Brock is, even though he may not mean to, I think he is, it's crippling the company, him being used, as opposed to a whole bunch of other guys. They're wasting a lot of prime years of a whole bunch of talents, which is what bred contempt in WCW and caused others to leave. So there are others that are going to leave to AEW. New Japan. New Japan could get a big boost from this also. Ring of Honor could, except Ring of Honor can't even draw fans in Washington State, and apparently a lot of other places. So to finish this up really, really quickly, yes, it is, just as bad. Creatively, the women deserve a whole lot better. They need to start utilizing more of their roster and everything. They need to cut some people, and they need to utilize more of their roster. 24/7 title, all that stuff and everything. They're trying to throw so much shit at, so much shit at the wall to see what sticks, that all that's sticking is shit. Even though there's plenty of talents giving their solid efforts and everything, it doesn't mean anything. The ratings continue to slide down. Even when the ratings tick up a little bit, it doesn't matter because it's not nearly what they were. So yes, to answer your question, at least creatively, and not financially, but creatively, WWE is in 2019 is as bad as WCW in 99 2000. I will touch on this in a bigger rant, probably a full-scale 35, 37-minute rant. Number 2, his question. Tyler Breeze back in NXT. Who would you send back there? I'd send the Revival back there. I mean, really, at this point, I know they're just writing out their contracts, but tell me they couldn't be used better. I'd send them there. I would send Natalya there. Mickie James recently tore her ACL, so she's out. I would send Alicia Fox there. I know Alicia Fox wasn't in NXT. Technically, I think she had a pro on the original NXT, one of the original NXTs. I don't remember which one, I'm sorry. But I would send Alicia there. I would send Natalya there. That's who I would, it's like send back there because I know Natalya had been established well before that. You know what? Fuck it. Call up Shayna, send Tamina down there. Tamina ain't doing shit. I'm not saying Tamina should be champion, but for fuck's sake, you might as well do something with her if you're going to keep her under contract. And I hate to say it, but once she comes back, you might want to send Nia Jax down there. Because maybe she can get better. And other than that, I really can't think of anybody because at that point, I mean, I would send Luke Harper there. Luke Harper for sure could be used well. But other than that, I would say the Revival for sure. That's kind of part of the reason why I put the shirt up there. I mean, I got, another question that I'll answer on this or another one about the Revival. But yeah, those are people that I would send there. Other than that, I mean, Eric Young, maybe he could be a good foil for, Velveteen Dream. But he would just be in the same Tyler Breeze boat where he would be, the Breezy boat, where he would be done, like he would be done after like a North American championship program. Chad Gable, send Chad Gable back there. Chad Gable could tear it up and be NXT champion, beat Adam Cole, bye, but why the hell not? I mean, seriously, what's Chad Gable gonna fucking do besides flounder? And I'm not talking about the Little Mermaid character. So, question number 3: who would you put into the main roster, main event group on Raw and SmackDown Live? Raw, not Baron Corbin. Sorry, I'm not saying that Baron is horrible. He's not. He's just not very interesting. Drew, put Drew in there. Have Drew be the one to take the title from Rollins, not Lesnar. Have Drew stop Lesnar from cashing in. Have Drew beat Lesnar at the following pay-per-view. And then have Drew take the title from Rollins. Or if you're going to have Lesnar become champion again, you have Drew attack him right after, set up a feud, and then he beats him, clean. And I mean clean in 5 minutes at the next pay-per-view. Like, really, at that point, you need to do something. And it establishes Drew as a fucking monster. Brock could still get in a few moves, but Drew could win clean. I would say Ricochet at least into the U.S. title scene. I don't think he'll ever be in the main event scene, or he'll have flashes of it. I would put Balor there, but Balor, sorry to say, I mean, Balor's also on SmackDown, but I would say for sure Drew, and if I had to pick somebody on SmackDown, Aleister Black. Aleister Black should be there. Aleister Black is money. Andrade is money. Both of them could be competing over the WWE title, and it would draw. And it would draw because they can put on some great matches. They put on a great match to take over New Orleans. I think it was it New Orleans last year? It was New Orleans. Sorry, the takeovers kind of blend together, and I'm also tired. But they put on a great match. They could do some great things there. Other than that, I can't really think of anything. And you know what? I'll throw women on there. Ember Moon needs to be in the title picture on SmackDown. Yes, Mandy and Sonya. I mean, I could throw Mandy and Sonya in there too. They might even be better off competing for the tag titles and establishing those belts after the Iconics lose them to somebody. Because they tease Mandy and Sonya breaking up so many damn times. Just give them the tag titles. They lose the tag titles after a few months. Then that causes a breakup. For the women, I would say Ember on Smacked or Liv. Give Liv a chance. I mean, I don't know if Liv should be in the main event scene, but why not? For Raw, Lacey's about where she should be, and people say that match with Charlotte wasn't very good. Well, no, it wasn't. I mean, the chemistry just wasn't there. I think them working as a team for a while will actually work. But Ruby, Ruby's out with shoulder surgery right now. Sarah, put Sarah in the main event scene. Give Sarah a goddamn chance. Sarah Logan's pretty fucking good. Sarah Logan hasn't been seen on TV since WrestleMania, as I recall. If she has, I fucking forgot about it. But let's just answer a little bit right there. Now we go, Polly A from YouTube. Who were your favorite Power Rangers of all time? Amy Jo Johnson, and Amy Jo Johnson. Actually, I like the original cast. I like the OG cast. The names escape me. The guy that played Billy. Billy. No, the guy that played the original. That was a Cable Guy reference, by the way. The guy who turned out to be gay and he was mercifully hounded on set about it. Terrible, by the way. I'm not defending it at all. But him. He was pretty cool. I like the original cast. Maybe it was just because I was 12 to 14. And Amy Jo Johnson, probably my first TV crush. At least as far as like, kid show or something like that. I like the Australian girl they had as a Pink Ranger. I like Naomi Scott in the new Power Rangers movie, which I own. By the way, I own that. I'm pointing over there as if you can see where my DVD collection, Blu-ray collection is. But other than that, like nobody really sticks out in my mind. I didn't mind the Ninja one. The new cast, like they came around at the time of the original Power Rangers movie. I didn't mind them. But the problem is that so many of the characters aren't distinct at all. And I didn't mind any of the really any of the characters that were in the, Power Rangers reboot. Which I hope they continue and don't reboot it and then reboot the reboot, which would be ridiculous. But yeah, Amy Jo Johnson, pretty much it. I don't know. I mean, she's fucking ageless, by the way. I think she was in a show called Flashpoint. And I mean, that was years and years after Power Rangers. And you're just looking, you're like, cool. She looks like she could literally be in the Power Rangers right there. She doesn't age. I saw pictures of her recently, or some movie that she was recently in. It might have been a couple years old, but seriously, she doesn't fucking age. Most of the I would say as far as the cast, the original cast, the cast when they'd had the Ninja Zords. And then the cast of the reboot. Everybody else I didn't really care for. The Turbo cast, I mean, I think it was mostly the same. They were fine. Yeah, other than that, I really can't think of anybody else. Sorry. I love the Power Rangers, but I can't really think. There's so many cast members in my head. And then Critical Sting from YouTube has 4 questions, and that's all good. I will answer them as detailed as I possibly can. Who are your fave characters / gimmicks in today's wrestling? We're going across all this stuff. I do like the Briscoes gimmick because they're just rough brawlers. I don't necessarily care for the Briscoes as people, but I will say their gimmick is pretty damn good. I like Jericho just being the angry rock star dad. I don't know why. Sonny Kiss's gimmick I need to see more of. It was entertaining for what it was when I just saw him at the Battle Royal. AEW Battle Royal, that is, but I need to see more of what he can do in the ring. Gimmicks entertaining, MJF. And I know MJF is probably actually right up there. Because it seems like it's him. Now, apparently, from people who have met him, I mean, I don't know, I haven't met him, apparently he's a super nice guy. Now, I've seen the guy live a couple times at a couple Defy shows last year, before he really started to blow up and got on MLW, not, Major League Wrestling. Well, I think it's called Major League Wrestling. I watch what I can, like MLW Fusion, that kind of stuff. I watch what I can, and MJF's absolutely incredible. He's probably my favorite. Yano from New Japan. Okada. Okada's not even really a gimmick. Okada's just Okada. But I would say Jay White. Jay White, because he's just such a full-on dick, and same with Sabre Jr. And no, that's not a euphemism, but both of them are really good. Yano, though, would be probably my favorite character. Naito, just because he just doesn't give a shit. Jushin Thunder Liger, I mean, one of my favorites of all time. Top 5 favorite of all time. Ranked above Ric Flair, actually, so he is top 4. In WWE, Velveteen Dream, easily. Velveteen Dream, Ali, I love Ali's look, but Velveteen would be the one character. No, I'm not going to mention Bray Wyatt. I give Bray Wyatt credit for doing the Firefly Funhouse thing, but I don't care for him. I just fucking don't. He's just not somebody in particular that I enjoy. But those would be ones that would leap out of my mind. As far as women, I can't really think of anybody. I mean, I like Becky's gimmick. I like Lacey's. Other than that, the women, I mean, Sonya, but Sonya is really just her. I think Sonya can be a legit badass if they build her up right. And I know I'm not talking about the uprights in football. But with women, I love Asuka. I mean, obviously. I love Kairi Sane. Shayna isn't really much of a gimmick, though I will give her credit. Even though I railed on the whole thing of how her reign has kind of held the women's division down a little bit. And through bad booking, through no fault of her own. On the TakeOver 25 review /rant. Really, there's a whole lot that I could mention that probably would actually take up this entire video, but those are some. Velveteen Dream for sure, though, in NXT. He is I'm locked in every goddamn time he is there. The Forgotten Sons, they have no gimmick. And sorry, they're good wrestlers, but they're boring. The gimmick is boring, at least. Number 2, do you think ROH gets passes from the media for problems which other promotions get tons of bad publicity for? Such as bad time slots. Midnight where I live, where he lives, that is. And I think actually midnight or 1 a.m. where I live, by the way, so you're not far off from me. Bouncing around multiple networks, having below average weekly TV, etc., that kind of stuff. So, forgive me if I missed writing some of it down. But that's kind of the crux of it. Does ROH get a pass? They get a pass from some of their hardcore fans, but I think even some of their fans that are diehard fans, and I'm not talking about the movie franchise, are realizing that ROH is in trouble. They got, Sinclair Broadcasting, it's a tax write-off for them. It doesn't cost them all that much to run it, even if they're paying money for people. Like, Jeff Cobb, Bandito, people like that, they're great. Some other people on there are great. The Allure, nothing against Mandy Leon, but if you're relying on Velvet Sky and Angelina Love in 2019 to push your women's division to be a foil to Kelly Klein and to a few others, you're in fucking trouble. And I love Kelly Klein. And nothing against Mandy Leon. I've never, there's that incident possibly of her spitting on a fan because of stuff that happened, or pie facing a fan or something. I don't remember the exact details of it, but that wasn't necessarily good. And then you got Bully Ray upset because of what people were saying about Velvet, and it was the fan being pulled backstage and a whole bunch. But the whole point is, that bad publicity, should have been something that cost them quite a bit. Especially if it's true. And with Bully Ray should not be pushed as much more than a mid-card guy at this point. He's almost 50. He was never that good anyway. He was good as a heel in TNA. The problem is, 2013 was his fucking peak. That's it. He put Dixie through a table at one point, and in 2014, which is exactly what we need to see, was Dixie Carter on TV for a while. But I digress. ROH does get a lot of flack. They don't get enough, though. The bad syndication, that kind of stuff, and the TV, anytime I watch their TV, if I catch it on, whatever the affiliate is, and I think it's like Como, ABC, so Como News, after that, and that's one of the affiliates here. I don't find it to pop all that much. And there's some good talent there. There is. But they got gutted worse by AEW and New Japan taking a whole lot of people, or a lot of people just leaving and going to either AEW and New Japan, where now Ring of Honor needs New Japan more than New Japan needs Ring of Honor. I hate to say, but at that point, Ring of Honor has fallen behind. They're still ahead of Impact because they're running live events. Impact isn't, and that's probably a good thing. This probably actually means Impact's not losing as much money. But really, they don't get nearly enough slack, or nearly enough flack like they should. They do bounce around on a lot of multiple networks. I have noticed that there were multiple channels they bounced around on. I eventually stopped giving up. I stopped giving up. I gave up trying to stop on the channel and figure out where they were. I just stopped. Plus, I reviewed WWE New Japan anyway, so I don't have a lot of time to do that. But they do get a lot of flack, and it is unfortunate. I might dive a little more into it, or I encourage other people that watch Ring of Honor, maybe give me a list of examples and stuff like that, and maybe I'll dive into it. But I'm not able to pay enough attention to the current Ring of Honor product as much as I would like to form much more of an opinion than on this, and based on what I see, which is limited. It's enough to know that they got problems, but they should get more flack than they do. I think a lot of it is the hardcore fans and stuff like that. And excuse me, I'm having a bit of this and a bit of allergies. But if they do get way more flack than they should, or they don't get enough flack like they should, and it's unfortunate. And that's really all I got to say there. Number 3, which main roster burial has surprised you the most? You see that shirt back there? The Revival. I know Vince doesn't like tag team wrestling, but they can work. They can sell. They can put on great matches and everything with the Usos, with the Good Brothers, with a whole bunch of other teams. And yet they've been basically buried. Now, 2017, the injury bug bit them. One had their jaw broken. I think it was Dash has jaw broken, and then, or Wilder. And then, Dash Wilder, Scott Dawson. Yeah, it was Wilder that had his jaw broken, and then Dawson tore his bicep like a few weeks after Wilder got back. But still, after like the whole burial at like Raw 25 and stuff like that, which was fucking bullshit, and then subsequent like just the burials and not being used and all that stuff, and then they were finally given a Raw tag team title run for like what 2 months, not even 2 months, is fucking bullshit. The Revival's the one. Also EC3. How the fuck can Vince not see EC3 and all that beef, pal? How can he not see the potential in EC3? That's what I don't fucking understand. Those two probably that. The Riot Squad for sure. They would be some. Ember. I don't even want to say Ember Moon's been buried, but Ember Moon has not really been used all that much. And yes, she was out with an arm injury, an elbow or something, bad elbow or bad shoulder. I think it was a bad elbow. After she worked the Royal Rumble, and then she was out until Mania. She actually came back way, way early, pushed herself, and got back, and she deserves credit for that. As does anybody that comes back early and manages to push through because they don't want to miss any dates and they want to work hard because they love wrestling. Those would be some. I would say EC3 and the Revival, though, would be the ones that surprised me the most. Asuka would be one. Yes, she did become SmackDown Women's Champion. But you can't say that her losing to Charlotte was beneficial when they just passed the title to Carmella, and that was terrible. And Asuka would probably be it. Yes, she was SmackDown Women's Champion from TLC last year to just before Mania this year. And besides a hell of a match with Becky Lynch, what the fuck did they do with her? They had her feud with Mandy Rose, and that feud went absolutely nowhere. That's not a fault of Asuka or Mandy Rose. It just didn't go anywhere. It was all about tripping up on apron skirts. They were skirting the issue. Bad pun. Sorry. My apologies. There. Bad. Ow. The whole point is there is a long list here. I would say Asuka. Kairi's felt very marginalized, but Kairi's only been on the main roster for a little bit. I would say EC3 and a Revival. Just because you would especially think with EC3, just Vince would just look at him. I mean, he fucking pushed Lex Luger, for God's sakes, forever and ever and ever. It was actually only about 10 months, but still, it felt like forever. It didn't really work all that well, but he pushed Lex Luger. It's like EC3, who's not the best wrestler in the ring, but is a hell of a promo and can get some good heat. No, they're just having him buried or sitting in catering. It's just baffling to me. Leave your thoughts in the comments, by the way. Number 4, where in God's green earth is Buddy Murphy? You asked this just before Super Showdown. He was in the Battle Royal. That's about the extent of what they've been doing with Buddy Murphy, and it's fucking sickening. I refer to my Super Showdown rant where I talk about a little bit about Buddy Murphy and everything. But they had him do one promo on a commercial talking about a possible feud with Ali, which I would love to fucking see. Who wouldn't want to see that? I mean, it was on 205 Live, and no offense to 205 Live, no offense to the hardworking talents, but nobody fucking watches it. I haven't watched it in months, even though it's really good. I check occasionally in on it, but I have not been able to watch it all that much. Buddy Murphy seems like he would be perfect elsewhere. I hate to say he's a prime example of they have nothing for him to do. Same with Alistair. They've had him cut promos and everything, and he's getting... I bet that frustration is actually him getting more and more pissed about not being used. Maybe he's used on live events. No offense for the people that are there for the live events, that's great, but nobody gives a shit in the end. It's got to be about what you see on TV, and that translates to watching the live events and everything and saying, oh, hey, I want to see these guys on TV. But anyway, yeah, Buddy Murphy, featured in Battle Royal. That's his main roster in-ring debut, at least on TV or on the network. Yay! So, anyway, we get to Kira_Johnson97. What superstar do you feel should have been a world champion? All time, I mean, Rick Rude should have been WWE champion. Mr. Perfect, even though he's AWA champion. Piper. I mean, but currently, the fact that Drew has not been a Universal Champion is ridiculous. The fact that Finn Balor has not competed for the WWE title is ridiculous. Andrade should be competing for that. Just that, I would say them right there. I mean, and I would almost say Reigns only because at this point, after Kofi, you don't need to be giving it to Shane. Have another heel beat him or whatever, and then have, Reigns beat Kofi. I mean, but that's going back and chewing my food twice. But I would say Drew on Raw, and I would say, and maybe Joe. I think Joe to an extent deserves it. And then Alistair, Andrade, or Balor for the WWE title. Because really, at this point, you need some after Kofi loses the title, whenever that is. Kofi's been doing a great job. I'm not saying he should lose the title, but whenever he does, you got to pass it to somebody that's good. And I'm sorry, he's not that good. He's not long-term, rather. Kofi is a great champion. Kofi is doing the best he can. He's delivering some great performances. But the problem is, now that he's won it, they're not going to be able to keep the ball rolling. Through no fault of Kofi's efforts. They got to switch the belt to somebody else by SummerSlam. Am I saying that Kofi should forever be out of the main event scene after that? No. But Aleister, Andrade, Finn. And I would say Andrade. Andrade actually should be the one to take it from Kofi. He won't be because Vince is an idiot and thinks that he needs to learn English. Vince, you stupid racist motherfucker. But there we go. So I'm going to actually finish up with a couple other questions. So I got, let's see, about 7 minutes. I got time for some more questions. Great Love 91, if you're watching this, I will get to your questions in episode 12. Since you did have some good detailed ones. At A Freaky Dude on Twitter, what is your overall opinion on the Championship Open challenges? Do you think Bayley might start one? I said that that's what they should do with the U.S. and the IC titles. I answered this on an earlier one, but as far as you adding about Bayley, yeah, Bayley should beat Alexa at Stomping Grounds, forgive me, in Tacoma, and I'm not going to be going. Tacoma's 70 miles away from me. Bayley should do that. Challenge, have Liv answer it, have Mandy answer it, have Sonya answer it. Do some stuff where you're going to build programs, but have some fucking matches where you're going to do some goddamn good. Bayley doing it would be perfect, because then as people, compete with her more and more and more, when she has an actual feud, maybe you build to where she gets a little more paranoid and everything. She has to cheat to win at SummerSlam to keep her title, and then she becomes more paranoid, and then maybe Sonya beats her or something like that. And I know I keep throwing Sonya in there, but Sonya fucking deserves it. My opinion, have her have a program with Ember. Have her cheat Ember out of getting the title. Have her cheat to beat Ember at SummerSlam. And then you move on to Sonya and Bayley. Sonya beats her, and then Ember can take the title from Sonya at some point. I'm not trying to push Mandy out of the card, but Mandy could have a good open challenge against Bayley. Bayley would be perfect to do this because it would show that she'd be a fighting champion wanting to face fresh talent like she talked about on SmackDown. D Bronco 78087. Which wrestler today would have fit in best in the Attitude Era, and which wrestler from the Attitude Era would have fit in best today? So basically, you're asking somebody from now in the Attitude Era, somebody from the Attitude Era in the now. He's envisioning folks that don't fit in the current state. I would say Aleister in the Attitude Era could have fit really goddamn well. Yeah, the entrance might have been seen more like Undertaker, but I think that would have worked. And also, so Aleister would be my choice. Aleister and the Revival. I think the Revival could have fit in just fine in the Attitude Era because it would have not been a gimmick, so therefore they could have worked pretty well. And I'd say the Revival in WCW would have worked well because you didn't specify which wrestler would be in which company. So Aleister in WWE, take him, put him in the Attitude Era. Revival, take them, put them in WCW. Now, Ken Shamrock. That's it. Ken Shamrock. I would say for sure. Shamrock and Taka Michinoku. I would say both of them. There's nothing against the women. I mean, Ivory I would love to have seen. I would love to have seen her there. Luna, would love to have seen Luna now. Not now. Because she unfortunately passed away. But take Luna from the Attitude Era. Put her in there. Put her in now. She would work really goddamn well with a lot of the women. I would like to see that. And you can say Chyna. Take Chyna from the Attitude Era. Put her now. Yes, she was a trendsetter in this kind of stuff. But if she had already set the tone, and then you move her, just time machine, everything, do the time warp again and move her here, she could have some power matchups. And it doesn't have to be just in WWE. AEW, her against Nyla Rose and Awesome Kong. Shut up and take my money. Because it would have been power and power. But yeah, Shamrock and Taka would have been the two men that I would have chosen. So I hope that answers your questions right there. And now we finish up with Journeyman 15's questions. With about 4 minutes left, so you'll forgive me if, your questions are really, really good. I will say that I'm going to probably not be as detailed on the first one. How do you think Governor Jay Inslee will end up after the 2020 primaries? Governor Jay Inslee, who, by the way, is the governor of Washington, is a fucking idiot. his clean energy thing, or clean bill, or whatever he worded it as, that's not a bad idea. Except, want to get gas-powered cars off the road. Are people going to get vouchers? Are people going to get, refunds and everything and money towards electric cars and everything? Because not everybody can afford electric cars. I know we need to move away from fuels and stuff like that and everything, and I apologize for getting into a whole rant about this. But honestly, it's not just that. He has not run this state very well, and I don't care about party affiliation. I do not care Republican, Democrat, center, right, center, left, center. I don't care. The guy's an idiot. This state, road construction wise, otherwise, some crime rates and stuff like that, but governor can only do so much. Some issues are just out of control and they need to be fixed by other people, because Inslee ain't fucking it. Where is he? I hope he ain't running my fucking state, is where I hope he's not. That's where I hope he is. Number 2, what are your overall feelings on Mark Hamill playing Chucky in the upcoming Child's Play movie or remake? Hamill's going to basically be the only reason to watch it. Well, except the main girl in it, whose name escapes me right now. Plaza Aubrey? I always forget her name. She's really funny and really beautiful, but I always forget her name. Hamill's perfect as the voice of Chucky. He's going to be fine. I'm not really that excited for the Child's Play remake, only because I don't really care for the movies. It's a fucking doll. I know I got the Annabelle shirt back here, but that's a scary doll. Chucky wasn't. Just wasn't. But I'm fine with Hamill playing him. I just don't really care about the movie. But he'll lend a great voice. Got a great voice. Great Joker. Best Joker pretty much ever. Maybe besides Heath Ledger. Number 3, will BTS's popularity lead to more K-pop, J-pop rise in the music realm in the States? Sure, why not? I mean, I'm not as familiar with BTS's music as other people are. I liked some of their stuff. I need to listen to more. They are hugely over everywhere. I know plenty of people on Twitter and all kinds of social media that just love them, and they are super popular and have mega stardom written all over them. But it will lead to a rise, but I don't know if it's going to have as much of a foothold in there as people think it will. I like quite a bit of J-pop and K-pop, but BTS could be a good bridge, but they're going to need more groups than that. But BTS could be the people that that set the trend. So anyway, that's where I'm going to leave this off. So I got more questions to answer in episode 12, which will be taking place right after this. But again, thank you guys so much for the great questions, and look forward to episode 12. I am John Rethlin, and I will see you soon.